Ready, go! Yeah, that's a man!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Breakdown. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be going back to 2018, where Dave Chaffee, USA's Dave Chaffee, took on Georgian Levan Saginashvili's main training partner, Genadi Kvikvinia. Now, the reason we're looking at this match is, of course, Dave Chaffee is soon to face Levan Saginashvili on September 5th as part of the top 8. And so to look back at this match gives us a really good insight as to how the Levan match could unfold. Genadi Kvikvinia, of course, the main training partner of Levan Saginashvili, fellow Georgian, highly respected arm wrestler, similar style at the end of the day. So what we see in this match back in 2018 is going to give us a great indicator of how Dave Chaffee and Levan may unfold. So without any further ado, let's take a look now at the 2018 super match between these two. Alright, you can see Dave Chaffee on the left of screen, Genadi on the right. They are outside of the straps at the moment. The low hand explosive top roll from Genadi. There's some elbow fouls called. Dave Chaffee not so worried at this stage, just holding on, maintaining that high knuckle position. You can see once again, straps this time. Let's have a look at the replay. You can see that slow motion shows that the drop wrist from Genadi is his main choice of weapon that he's looking for. He wants that top roll. He wants to crack the wrist to Dave Chaffee. In the straps, however, back pressure is too much. Pronation, wrist flexion from Dave. Very simple, compromises the wrist. You can see in the replay there is no ability for the drag and pronate from Genadi Kvikvinia because of the back pressure, and hand is too strong from Dave Chaffee. Outside of straps, again, round 2, you can see the slow motion replay shows it that the hand and wrist of Dave Chaffee is superior to Genadi's, and that wrist is dumped and the pronation comes through with a slip. We're in the straps again now, and Dave Chaffee with the buckle in his hand this side, still getting the containment and busting the wrist back of Genadi Kvikvinia, isolating his arm, exposing the inability to get side pressure. The replay shows that there, once again, it's back pressure, it's fingers, it's wrist flexion, combined with pronation and side pressure from Dave Chaffee, really is the finishing nail in the coffin there in that round. So that is 2-0 Dave Chaffee. Outside of straps now, Dave Chaffee putting on a class now, actually cupping a little bit, getting some control and pinning, but we're in now round 4. Look, Genadi Kvikvinia getting the jump on Dave Chaffee, who was being a little bit casual after being up 3-0. Now, in the straps in round 4, Dave Chaffee, once again, pretty relaxed. Genadi Kvikvinia with a great position there, getting a stop, which was flattening the hand of Dave Chaffee, but he has been given the elbow foul, so they restart once again. Dave Chaffee, again, similar start, but Genadi Kvikvinia achieving a position where there is a stop. Dave Chaffee would have had to work and adjust from there. He probably could have, but the elbow foul happens, and Genadi gets on the board, 3-1. Now, in round 5, Dave Chaffee looking for the victory. He's got hand control, again, out of the straps. The slip happens, Genadi Kvikvinia with the back pressure pronation, and in the straps, though, no monkey around. Dave Chaffee takes this opportunity with that same again as the first couple of rounds, the back pressure, the pronation, side pressure too much. Now round 6 there, Dave Chaffee not so interested in a good hit from Genadi Kvikvinia to get the job done. The slow motion replay will show it. Not too much going on from Dave Chaffee, allowing Genadi to tee off and call it a day with a 4-2 victory to the USA's Dave Chaffee. There we go. Alright, so what does that mean? It's really interesting for me the way that match unfolded, because I really do genuinely believe that Genadi and Levan somewhat have the same style. Undoubtedly, Levan is bigger, stronger. He's not as fast or explosive as Genadi, but they use the same shape. They're both top roll. They're both happy to drop their wrist a little. They both have big back pressure, and they both want to pronate and control the hand and wrist. We've seen Levan defensively top roll before. A lot of what we saw from Genadi there, in a tactical sense, I expect to see from Levan. Now, if we look at the way Dave Chaffee dealt with that, Dave Chaffee had superior back pressure. His fingers were strong enough that when Genadi dragged and tried to pronate, the hand didn't open at all. And from there, with his own superior back pressure and then wrist flexion, that busts the wrist back of Genadi Kvikvinia. Now, There was one interesting round that happened in there that I think is actually more likely to be what happens when Levan and Dave face. And that was, I think it was round 4? It was the round that Genadi won, where the double elbow foul happened from Dave Chaffee. But basically, Dave Chaffee got the back pressure, got the fingers up, went to go sideways, and had this little flattening moment. He had this flattening moment where the defensive top roll of Genadi Kvikvinia had achieved a stop. I think that's where the match with Levan is going to stop. I think Levan is stronger than Genadi. I think when Dave's fired up and going for everything, it's going to happen much like that. He's going to bring him over here. It's going to hit that wall, like we saw with Genadi. It's a pity that round didn't play up and was stopped on elbow fouls, because it would have been fascinating to see if the adjustments were there. Could Dave come back up, regain his cup, and get control of that hand and wrist again and take the wrist off Genadi? Or would Dave have lost it and Genadi have chipped through and ended up with a top roll of his own getting away? It really is interesting. I like that match because of how much I believe it is going to be the same way it unfolds for Levan and Dave. End of the day, it's going to be an exciting match. Let me know what you think. Will Levan crush Dave? Will Dave crush Levan? What did you see here in this match with Genadi and Dave? I think there's lots of clues that will lead us to exactly what happens come September 5th in the top 8. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining in on the breakdown episode today. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, a comment, a share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys again soon.
Yeah, that's a bet!